What's going on, guys? So, maybe some of you will find this helpful, maybe some of you won't. But far too often, I see guys neglecting to clean their firearms. And it baffles me as to why. And a lot of people hate cleaning guns for some reason. A lot of people make it out like it's this great chore that it takes them, a half hour to an hour per gun to do. And it kind of blows my mind because I've been cleaning guns for a long time and never taken me that long, and I've never had problems with my guns malfunctioning due to not being clean. In fact, I think a lot of times people over clean their guns and will do more damage to the gun over cleaning it than not cleaning it. It's not complicated, guys. So I'm going to show you in this video what I do and how I clean my guns. And I don't care if it's an AK, an AR, a plasma rifle in 40-watt range, or even one in a 20-watt range. Clean your guns. I do all mine pretty much the same way. AKs, ARs, handguns, doesn't matter. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. And you don't need a whole lot of special stuff. So, let's get started, shall we? Oh boy, we're going to have fun now. So, I had this one at the range yesterday. And we're just going to give her a cleaning. First thing I do, separate the upper and lower, right? Not complicated. You ain't going to have nothing fancy. As you can see, this is pretty dirty. This is an old t-shirt that I outgrew or was one of my boys or something. I don't know. We save old t-shirts and stuff like that to use as rags for various things. Make great cleaning rags, okay? So all I do is just start wiping everything out, making sure there's no fouling or anything anywhere. Wipe out the mag well, and lower's clean. That's it. If I need to, I can run my toothbrush in there, and it's easy just to wrap toothbrush in part of the rag, and I can get down in and around the trigger group and such. But that's done. Not complicated. Alright, next, take out the bolt, take out the charging handle, and then samey. Take my rag, and I'm trying to find the open part. Take my rag and just start wiping out the upper. Take your finger and try to get it just inside the chamber right there a little bit. You can kind of see it'll come out looking like that. Then I like these military style toothbrushes, but even an old toothbrush that you're no longer brushing your teeth with will work. You got to go buy nothing fancy, but wrap the rag around it, and then up in the charging handle slot, I can get inside the charging handle area real easy with that narrow end of the brush wrapped around the rag. In this case, like I said, a t-shirt. Take the wider end, just kind of run it in there, just wiping out the fouling, the carbon, and the carbonized oil, I guess. It's where the oil's been in there and it's gotten fouling on it. Then, easy peasy, I've been using bore snakes like since they first came out. I run it through 2 or 3 times depending. Give her a look. That's a nice shiny bore with no visible debris left in it. Upper's clean. Charging handle. Wipe it off. No debris on it. No excess oil on it. No dirty oil on it. It's kind of like when you change the oil in your car. The oil's job is to lubricate the engine and to trap debris and move it away. So you drain the dirty oil out and you put fresh oil in. Well, I'm wiping the dirty oil off and I'm going to put fresh oil on it. It's a mechanical machine, just like your car is, just like any other piece of machinery. I'll take my bolt and pull my firing pin retainer pin out, which wants to be stubborn today. There we go. Firing pin, retainer pin, firing pin, cam pin, bolt. Okay, so we're going to do the carrier first. We'll just clean it all off, give it a good wipe down. Inside the firing pin channel from the front, get a rag up in there with the narrow end of the brush. Get inside the cam pin slot. Get a clean spot. Kind of angle it in from the back into the firing pin channel from the rear. Get inside the lower channels on the bolt where it rides over the top of the magazine lips. And that is clean. Now, for the record, basic training, you're taught a vastly different method of cleaning your M16 or M4 for you newer guys. What we were taught in basic training years ago was not so much about having a clean gun, although that was part of the main point, but there was a lot more going on besides just cleaning the gun, okay? So things were done that aren't technically necessary to have the gun clean. Like, for example, I'm not overly concerned about the carbon buildup down in here. I don't know what you guys did, but let me just state for the record, Drill Sergeant Nunn, if you are watching this video, please do not have a heart attack. I doubt he is. I don't even know if the man's still alive. But there's nobody around with a white sheet of paper on the table to take their coat hanger and grind around in there and then, oh look, black stuff, clean it again. I'm not worried about all that. Firing pin, it's all dirty. Take my same rag, wipe it off. If there's anything built up on it, I can use a little wire bronze brush if I need to. If not, it's clean. Cam pin's clean. And I can do this faster if I'm not trying to talk to you guys. So talking to you guys is making it take even longer. Wipe my bolt off. I'll get around the gas rings good. Try to get off what I can, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to scrape off gas right here. Just what carbon. Just what I can get with my fingers. If it's really, really bad, again, I'll just use my little bronze brush and try to knock off what I can on the back. Again, this is on the tail of the bolt where the gas feeds into it and the carbon's built up. Because the little secret is you've got a really high pressure stream of hot gas blowing on this, and it's only going to build up so much before it blows itself off. So don't overly worry about that. The important thing is keeping the gun lubricated. Now, I'll take my regular toothbrush, get the bolt face and the lugs real quick, and it's done. Now all I gotta do is put it back together. Why is it that when you're doing this and you've got stuff on your fingers that your nose wants to itch? I do not know, but time to lubricate it. Guys, don't overthink lubrication. I've used a lot of different ones over the years. The sad fact of the matter is most all of them work. There's a few that might be questionable. I've seen folks have problems with them when they've lubed them up with certain ones and they left them in storage for a long time and they gummed up. But most of them, they work. Just pick what you want to do and go with it. Even plain old CLP like what we were using back in the early 90s, late 80s, it works. It's fine. Use it. So, what I'm going to do is my ring around the bolt right here where it rides in the carrier. I put just a little bit of oil on the gas rings where it seals up, just because this rotates inside the carrier, and all those points of contact I want to be able to rotate freely and smoothly. Get my bolt lined up. Again, look on your parts. Your parts will tell you where you need oil at. See that silver ring around there? That's metal on metal contact. That needs to be lubricated. So, put oil on that, enough to get it wet. Drop that in. Don't lubricate your firing pin. Make sure, this is a common spot people screw up, make sure your firing pin is all the way in before you put the firing pin retainer pin in. If you don't, when you put the gun back together and go to shoot it the first time, you're going to have problems. I'm just saying. Little trick too, when you put your retainer pin in, you see the split right there versus the solid side? Put it in so that the split is like this. You can put it in sideways if you have to work it in there, but put it so that it's up and down like that. I can't say that it'll make a huge difference, but people that I've seen have the firing pin retaining pin shear one side off usually didn't do that, and I've never sheared one and I've been doing that. What it does is it puts pressure from the firing pin on both legs, okay, instead of just one leg, and it distributes it in a different way. That's the best way I can explain it. Same thing on your bolt. Look at the areas where it's contacting the inside of the receiver. That'll be where your shiny spots are starting to wear at. That's where you want the oil. Put a little bit on there, a little bit down there, a little bit on this side. Now, something that I do, I'll put a little drop on each of the bolt lugs, because those bolt lugs are rotating inside the teeth of the chamber when it goes in the battery for the first time. And I want that metal on metal contact to be lubricated. I'll put just a drop or two on the top of the receiver when it's upside down like this, so when I put my charging handle in there, it will, I'm trying to do this upside down, there we go, it'll self-lubricate as it goes through. Then bolt back in. I'm going to wipe off the excess oil, because I don't want that leaking all over everything while it's in the storage. No need to. Put the gun back together, and then work it a few times. Do my function check, charge it, fires, put it on safe, doesn't fire, off safe, fires, hold the trigger to the rear, charge the gun again, reset, and then fire again. Everything's working properly. Everything sounds good. It's nice and smooth. If I see a spot that needs it, I will put a little drop in there around the bolt, just because reasons. Not a lot. You want it wet, but it doesn't have to be dripping all over the place. Try to find a happy medium between bone dry and just dripping wet. Don't use like a whole container per gun. Happy medium. Happy medium. All right? That feels good to me. And we're done. This gun's cleaned. As you can see, it didn't take long. Didn't take a lot of fancy equipment. It would have been a lot quicker if I wasn't trying to talk to you guys. I can do it while I'm watching TV. So, a little bit of oil, toothbrush, military brush, whatever, an old rag, bore snake. You can keep your guns up and running. That's how I do it. Maybe you do it differently. You do you. But my point for those of you that maybe don't know or are new to this or whatever, don't overthink it. Cleaning your gun doesn't have to be this daunting, oh my God, that you're dreading task. And the final thing I mentioned is while you're doing your cleaning, be looking at your gun parts. Look at the hammer and trigger as you're wiping everything off. Do you see any visible cracks in there? Do you see anything that looks out of place? When you're looking at the bolt carrier, the bolt, the firing pin retaining pin, the cam pin, look at them as you're cleaning them. Do you see any visible cracks developing? Do you see anything that looks odd, out of place, whatever? That's how you find issues before it becomes an issue, right? Be looking at all that stuff. That's about it. Hope that helps some of you guys out. Keep your guns clean. And as a famous man once said, never let the sun set on a dirty weapon. Take care. I'll see you guys later.